Hi, welcome back to part 3 of the bed tutorial. It's nice to get to do this one without a voiceover. I'm just going to have a go at doing it live. The part 2 was made while my family busily got ready for school and work in the background. So I had to do a voiceover for it. So let's see how this goes with part 3. I also have to do this one while juggling a cat. So let's get started. So at the end of part 2, you had 3 pieces that were now covered with quilt batting and fabric. You'd glued them and pinned them. So why don't you go ahead and just take out all your pins. So, once you've got it all apart, have a look at your pieces. As you can see here, this is my footboard. This is what will be showing. This will be pointing out from the bed. So this is what would be facing into the room. On this side, I've got my seam. So I've made my fabric run in the right direction. I've got a treasure chest right there. Headboard, same thing. I've got the goldfish and the goldfish, ha ha ha, in the right direction. Seam is around the back. That's the back of the mattress. That's the front. So, to assemble it, it's pretty simple. You can probably guess what's going to happen. You just basically are going to glue it all together. You're going to glue the bed, the mattress, onto the footboard and onto the headboard. You'll have to play with it a little bit, eyeball it, make sure it's the right height, or you could measure. It's up to you. I'm going to eyeball it. I think I'd like to have it so that little goldfish is above the bed. Oh, it's on the wrong side. It's that little goldfish. Now, this is something to think about too. I've decided that I'm going to put legs on this bed. If not, you just think about where you're going to place your bed in terms of how high you would want the legs to be, how high you'd want it to be off the floor. So the higher you had it off the floor, the less headboard and footboard you're going to have, obviously. I'm going to put it on little legs. You don't have to. That works just fine. I'm going to put it on little legs so it'll be higher up so I can go lower with the mattress up against the headboard. I could almost go flush if I wanted. Oh, I've got a cat perched. There he goes. Sorry about that. So I could almost go flush putting it on legs, but I think I'm going to just go up a little bit. So that's what the effect will be. Inside the footboard there, that is hidden by the bed. The back up against a wall, underside. So just like that, once it's glued together, you would have a bed, a very basic bed. From this point on, you could do whatever you wanted with it, really. If you wanted to put legs on it, if you wanted, I might put some beads or something on top here and here. I haven't quite decided, but that's, if you wanted to be done at that point, you could be done. And you've got a lovely little bed. I'm going to go further. So first we're going to glue it together. Now, I've decided I want it the head of it to come up under that fish there. So get my glue, which needs to lay on its side for a moment for it to work. And I'm going to run a bead of it across here, underneath the fish. I might even run 2 beads that go parallel. Is it called a bead of glue? I don't know. And then you just stick it on. Have a look to make sure it's level. Looks pretty good. When you feel good about it, get your pins. And you want to pop them from the back all the way through into the bed. Give yourself a little bit to grab onto when you want to take them out. Oh, follow my own advice would be good, wouldn't it? That. Yes. There we go. I'm going to put in 4 pins. And there's the headboard attached. Same with the footboard. So I'm thinking about where it needs to sit so everything is even. I think that's about right.
Fools like them, they suss me out and then they ghost. Girls like me, I like a magnet to a knife.
There you go. That could be your completed bed if I wasn't going to do more with it. So if you're happy with that, you can be done now. Of course, you can now consider all the variations you could do with this. Like, for instance, you could also make a back for it from corner to corner. Or just make a couch. Just make a back, make this higher, make a proper couch out of it. So if you make the box shapes that I did originally, so the 2 flats with the spacers between, they are the perfect interior construction structure. That's the word I'm looking for. They're the perfect structure for building all types of furniture. So if you want to suggest more types of furniture, I could try building with it. I may take you up on some of those suggestions, and others I may ignore entirely. All right. Now I'm going to decorate it. So it needs feet. Okay, so these are the beads I've decided that I'm going to build my legs out of. And I'm going to do that using a pin and just a bit of cardboard. So I'm going to pick up a bead on the pin. Drop a bit of glue on it. This bead. So, like that. And I'm just going to attach it to the cardboard and let it dry. So I'm going to do that with all the legs. So while the legs are drying, we can, I thought I'd mention a few different ways you could have a headboard or a footboard. So if you wanted to have a curved headboard, it's pretty much the same process, but it is easier if you use a front and a back to wrap a curve rather than wrapping around a curve. So I'll add a link to my armchair tutorial, and in the armchair tutorial I show you how to cover a piece with a rounded, how to make and cover a rounded piece with a rounded top. And once you've got that piece made, you just apply the same structure as you do here. Something else you could do that I did in my Meanwhile in Another Castle, The Princess and the Pea that I just finished. I just made a mattress and I made 4 posts and I glued the posts to the foot of the bed. Same way I did this. So once you make a mattress, how you want to turn it into a bed could be your own invention altogether. You could build a cupboard around it and have a cupboard bed. Maybe you want to make it up high like a loft bed, so the feet of your bed could come much farther. You could have a really huge footboard and headboard. Lots of variations. At this point, if you had raw edges or you weren't happy with your edges, you could take a piece of your fabric and just make basically bias binding, but not quite, and just iron it down, and then you would take that and go around your corner with it. And that's how you could cover the edge if you weren't happy with it. You could do that with a bit of ribbon as well, just some pretty ribbon, and wrap it around the edge, make it neat on the bottom. So there's many options that you could try out and experiment on your own. So now I'm going to make some bedding for my little bed. I've still got a few pieces left over of the same fabric, and I think I'm just going to dress most of it in the same colors. So I'm going to make a big blanket, maybe a little bottom quilt type thing, and a big pillow or a few pillows. I haven't decided. And then I think I might use this pink just as a backing to some of it, and maybe make one pink pillow as well, 1 or 2 to go in. So starting off, let's give everything an iron. I want to cut this. This I'm going to use as my blanket, my quilt. This needs to be cut to the same width, but I'm going to make it a bit longer so that some of the pink shows in the front. So I know that that is as wide as I need it. So I'm going to snip it down. Give this a press. I'm just going to come down. So, first thing I'm going to do, I feel like I want to iron them more, is for making this blanket. I'm going to come down to this edge. Oh. Run some glue along it. And then I'm going to take my top fabric and I'm going to take that edge down to meet it and glue it in place there. Now I wanted just use some paper, it's fine. I'm going to dry the glue with the hot iron. There we go. And then same on this side. I'm going to run some glue along this edge. And then I'm going to take this piece of fabric up to meet it. Let's just press that out. So then what I've got is a shape like that. And what I can do with a shape like this is I can lay it flat. Like that. Like that. So what I've done there, laid the pink side, the longer side down, and I'm putting the other fabric sort of in the middle. So I've got my fold there, and that's the join in the two fabrics. Right? Now I'm going to iron that. Over. There we go. Now, I want to put a layer of quilt batting in here. So I'll just lay it out and cut it to fit. Now, with that on the side, like so, open up between the two pieces of fabric. Slid out of the way here. Between these two pieces of fabric, hold on to your fleece underneath, and it just makes it easier when you turn it inside out for your fleece to fit in there. If it doesn't work that well for you, then don't worry, stuff it in. So once you've got it like that, so you can see why I had those bits longer now. You can see how they finish off at the top and the bottom. There we go. Now, trim off the edge, any excess like that. Like that. And your next step is to fold in your edges here. Just a little bit. If it fights with you a little bit, just fight back. And once you've got your edge made there like that, give it a press. This is one of those times that having an iron is great, even if you're someone who hates ironing. I hate ironing, but I love my little iron. Do the same on the other side. Next thing you're going to do, grab one of those edges, and you're going to, this might be a bit messy, I'm going to take my tea towel out of the way. You're going to glue in here. So just glue along that sort of fold that you just made with your iron. And yes, it might be a bit messy and awkward. And then seal it up on that side. Like that. Same on the other side. Do you love yourself? Before you come and waste my time, boy, you gotta know what to read your mind. Do you love yourself? Now, let's iron it again. Like a magnet to a knot, like a lighthouse on the ocean. I sail him on devotion and so my thoughts. There. You've got a lovely blanket for your bed. It's a bit long. That's okay. Fold it down. I'm going to give it a little press there so it sits a bit better. And all this will be under the pillows that I'll make anyway. So there you go, your bed with a blanket. Now I'm going to quickly attach the feet to the bed, and then I'll have to do a part 4 for making of more decorations for the bed, the more blankets and pillows for it, because I'm going to run out of room on my phone. So have your bed, flip it upside down. If you want, you could take these things off if it's dry by now. If not, you can do it with them on. You're going to go to each corner of the bed You're going to give up a dollop of glue. Like so. Now, you'll take the posts you made earlier, the legs that you made earlier on the pin, and you're just going to push the pin into the bottom of the bed like that. Here's the legs on the bed. The pins are still in, but it gives you an idea of what they'll look like. They're pretty fun. And come back to part 4, where we make some pillows and maybe another blanket for the bed tutorial. Thanks for watching.